A lot of students keep missing. So we're looking at a sequence, probability of a sequences of independent events. So we'll give lots of examples. Well, let's start with this. You toss a coin and then you roll a die. Okay, here's a coin, here's a dice. What's the probability of getting a head, which would be the president's head there, right? And then getting a 6, right? So what's the probability that I flip that and then I get a 6? Wow, I did it. Look at that. Head 6. Woo! But, I mean, that's kind of unlikely, actually, because that could be a head or a tail. It was a head that time. But, you know, oh, it's a head again, I guess. But it could be a tail, right? So there's the tail, right? And this isn't always going to be a 6. Could be 1, could be a 5, it could be a 2, right? So for me to toss a head, the first thing I want you to understand about independent events is like, the head has to happen and then the 6 has to happen, okay? From scratch, right? So I hope you feel that it's harder than just, like, if I was to say, if the event was, hey, just roll a 6, that's easier than trying to get a head and then get a 6. You know what I mean? Because when you have two events, it makes things harder, doesn't it? Rather than me just saying, hey, what's the probability of getting a head? You know what I mean? I have to get a head and then have to get a 6. You know what I mean? So that's the first thing I want you to understand. But the way to deal with this is, what is the probability of just getting a head if we just had that event on its own? Right. Yeah, that'd be just 1/2, right? Now, what's the probability of rolling a 6 if you're rolling a dice? 1 out of 6. There's 6 possible numbers on the dice, right? 1 out of 6. Okay. So, actual fact, the probability of getting a head and then rolling a 6 is you take the probability of the head and you actually multiply it by the probability of getting 6. And what happens when you multiply these? You get 1/12. Okay. Now, why is that? Why can we just multiply? Is that something we're just going to remember? I'm going to actually write out all the things that could happen when we toss a coin and then roll a dice. You get a head and then a 1, a head then a 2, a head then a 3, a head then a 4, a head then a 5, a head then a 6. What are the other things that could happen when you toss a coin and then roll a dice? Tail 1, tail 2, tail 3, great. Tail 4, tail 5, tail 6. Now, how many possible outcomes are there? Because the event is toss a coin, then roll a dice. That's the event. How many possible outcomes do we have? Good. Yeah. Good deal. We have 12 possible outcomes. And out of those, how many are we looking for? We want to get a head, then roll a 6. That's just 1, right? So we have one kind of success, one success out of 12 possible. So what we're looking for is like, and it's, where is it? We wrote it down here. It's this guy, head 6, right? That's 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 possible outcomes. One success out of 12 possible. But I hope that example explains why when you have two independent events, you actually multiply the probability, right?